What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Neighborhood Podcast. I'm one of the hosts of the podcast. My name is Kyle Dabro, and I'm pretty sure that most of you have heard the news already. That is, that Tom Brady, who is widely regarded as the greatest quarterback in NFL history, has officially retired from the game after 22 seasons. For me personally, this is a bittersweet day, just because I've been coming to grips with the reality that Tom Brady was going to retire once we heard the reports from the likes of Adam Schefter at ESPN, Ian Rappaport at NFL Network, that Tom Brady was eventually going to retire this offseason. And now it is official after Brady posted a lengthy Instagram post this morning where he officially stated that he is walking away from the game. And I'm not sad that Tom Brady's career has come to an end. I'm happy that I was able to experience it alongside Patriot fans throughout that entire course of time, Bucks fans just of recently lately, and NFL fans across the world. What Tom Brady was able to bring to the game of football is unparalleled, and the impact that he leaves on the NFL and football as a whole will never be forgotten. Because the way that I see it, and I'm pretty sure this is common knowledge, that Brady is the greatest quarterback that we've ever seen in NFL history. And some can even make the argument that Tom Brady is the best player in NFL history across the entire spectrum. And when I look at the impact that he brought to the game, granted, Tom Brady wasn't the most gifted athlete coming out of college. He had one of the more porous performances at the NFL Combine. That 40-yard dash that he had is still an eyesore to this day. But even though that Brady didn't carry the athletic skills that I think a lot of people were looking for before he got drafted, there was one thing that they never looked at, and that was his heart and his competitive drive to play the game at a damn near perfect level. And when Brady got his opportunity after Drew Bledsoe went down in 2001, Brady took full advantage of it and never looked back. He carried the Patriots to 3 Super Bowls in a 4-year stretch, winning Super Bowls 36, 38, 39, and creating a dynasty for the Patriots early on in his career. And he became a household name after winning those Super Bowls and essentially climbed to the top of the league at the quarterback spot in the middle of his career. He took his game to a whole new level in 2007 where he threw for 50 touchdown passes. And even though that the Patriots and Brady weren't winning Super Bowls, they were always in it. They were always competitive. And they were a team that you never wanted to play because you knew what they were capable of. And then once you got to the back half of Tom Brady's career, it looked like it could have been done fairly early looking back at it. I vividly remember when the New England Patriots were playing the Kansas City Chiefs in 2014, where the Chiefs blew the doors off the Patriots. They won by the score of 41-14 on Monday Night Football. And many people were saying, is this the end for Tom Brady? And this is when Brady was 34. This was over 8 years ago. And we look at it now, that was really the starting point to what you could probably consider the best end to a career that anybody has had in the entire sports realm. Because Brady would propel the New England Patriots to win 3 Super Bowls before he would depart for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brady was responsible for bringing the Patriots a Super Bowl title against the Seahawks in Super Bowl 49, a Super Bowl title against the Atlanta Falcons, where they mounted the largest comeback in Super Bowl history, coming back from a deficit of the score of 28-3, which is absolutely unheard of. And then he was able to get the Patriots another Super Bowl title in Super Bowl 53 against the Los Angeles Rams. And then Brady took his talents to Tampa Bay, Florida, and in his first year was able to capture another Super Bowl title at Super Bowl 55, where the Buccaneers essentially, blew the doors off the Chiefs, winning that game by the score of 31-9. And then you get to this point, Brady's last year, Brady was putting up phenomenal numbers. Unfortunately for the Buccaneers, they were eliminated by the Los Angeles Rams in the divisional round. And subsequently after, Brady has now left the game after his official retirement this morning. I mean, when you look at the impact that Brady has brought, granted, he wasn't the most athletic quarterback coming into the game, but the most underrated aspect of Tom Brady that I think gets overlooked time and time again is his ability to just execute. No matter what moment of the game it is, no matter if it's at the beginning of the game or the end of the game. To me, there is no other quarterback that I would rather have at the helm than Tom Brady. Tom Brady would thrive in the most crucial and critical moments of the game, and he wouldn't succumb to the pressure. He would rise above it, and he did it time and time again, not just throughout the regular season, not just in certain playoff games, but in pivotal Super Bowl matchups. He was able to bring so much of that grit and determination in the most critical stages of the game and execute at the highest level possible. And to me, we will never see someone like Tom Brady ever again. Tom Brady played 22 seasons. He played until he was in his mid 40s. And when you look at Tom Brady statistically, in his 40s, he outperformed what he did in his 20s, which is unheard of. It's just Tom Brady probably had the greatest end to a career that I've seen, winning 4 Super Bowls within a 7 to 8 year stretch, and was putting up great numbers throughout the entire course of that time. He leaves the game as probably the best quarterback who had the best season last season. I mean, Tom Brady threw for 43 touchdowns and over 5,300 yards passing at 44 years old, led the league compared to all other quarterbacks. Brady's not leaving the game as somebody who was barely hanging on or hanging on by a thread. Brady was playing at probably what you could say is the best level that we may have ever seen him at, except for maybe that 2007 season. And unfortunately, it has come to a point where Tom Brady's competitive desire has gotten to a point where it's no longer 100%. And if he doesn't feel like he's at 100%, he's going to leave the game because of that. So just really before I wrap this up, I really just want to take the time to just say thank you, Tom. You left a immeasurable impact on not just me, but on Patriot fans, on Buccaneer fans, and NFL fans across the world. It was an absolute honor. It was an absolute privilege to get to watch you play at such a high level on Sundays. And you will be missed. And I typically don't say things like this when it comes to other players retiring from the game. Granted, there have been some great NFL players that have come through the doors throughout the entire course of NFL history. But for me personally, there will never be another Tom Brady. No one. No one will ever be able to reach that status to me. And he leaves the game as an icon. And with that said, just once again, thank you, Tom. Thank you for just going out and being the best player that you could be. And to me, you lead the game as the greatest player in NFL history. So with that said, you guys, thank you for tuning in. Kevin and I do have a segment recorded that we'll upload tomorrow, and we'll kind of dive into whether or not we see Tom Brady as more than just the greatest football player of all time, whether or not he could be the greatest sports figure of all time. But that'll come out tomorrow. So with that said, you guys, just once again, thank you guys for tuning into the video. If you guys like the video, hit that like button below. If you want to support the channel in any way, shape, or form, hit that subscribe button below. Any sort of support for the channel, Kevin and I definitely appreciate it. Just once again, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys later.